Welcome back. So in this lesson, I want to briefly go over the benefits of properly structuring your business, your real estate company as an LLC. There are many benefits to doing business as a professionally structured business. Now don't get me wrong, you can jump into this really quickly and go ahead, grab you an Airbnb, do your short-term rental thing, and you can do it under your name. It's completely legal and you'll start making your money. However, there are many benefits, so we're gonna go over that really quickly so you have an idea. As you can see, I listed the steps for forming an LLC, which are really simple. You choose an LLC name, which typically you just search for it. Try to always have 2 or 3 names because the one you come up with first may not be available when you search for it in your state. So always have a couple of names in mind that you want to use. Once you get the name, you appoint a registered agent, which could be your cousin, your uncle, your brother, your wife, whoever, but you want to appoint a registered agent or hire professional help to do this. File your articles of organization, prepare an operating agreement, get your EIN from the IRS if you're in the US, and your LLC is formed. Now, I personally recommend that you hire this out, but I'm going to just talk about the benefits really quickly, and then I'm going to show you how to actually do it if you want to do it yourself. So some of the benefits of forming an LLC is, first of all, asset protection. You don't have the same protections if you are doing the business as yourself. If someone comes for you because they decide they want to sue, now keep in mind you're in the short-term rental business, so there are all types of people in and out of your property. If a person slips on the floor, or they're washing out, or they're celebrating and they're popping bottles, and they're washing out a wine glass and they cut themselves, so many various situations, they might decide they want to sue you, even though they're at fault. Just know we live in a litigation nation, and people are always trying to find reasons to come for you and what you've worked hard to build. So to protect yourself, you don't have the same protections if you are just an individual. But if you form an LLC, then the LLC is considered its own person or entity, and they can only sue the entity, which means they can't touch your personal bank accounts, your cars and vehicles, your house. All of your things that you've worked hard for as an individual is protected. So again, it just allows a lot of asset protection that you don't want to overlook as you're building your business. There are many tax benefits that you don't get as an individual. There are so many more tax write-offs that apply only to businesses. And we don't want to go into detail about that, but just know that there are many, many tax write-offs that you don't get the privilege of using as an individual. You can also open a business bank account, which then allows you to get your own EIN, which means it's kind of like a business's social security number. Get your own EIN, your own Dun & Bradstreet number, etc. And so now you're operating, allowing the business to build up its own credit and its own reputation so that you can actually start purchasing properties under the business and even getting business lines of credit, applying for all kinds of benefits that allows for your business to fund itself. And you also have access to other types of funding that you can't get if you are an individual. And then of course it also gives you a very professional look and more credibility. Keep in mind, you can also get more properties this way than you can as an individual. If I'm trying to arbitrage and I go to an apartment complex and I say, I want to get a unit. As an individual, I only can get 1 unit under my name. But if I'm corporate leasing and I have a legit business in place, I can actually get multiple units at one time. So I can build out my business and scale it much faster as a legit business. So again, there are many ways to set this up. I personally reside in Texas, so I already know where to go to set up mine. This will vary from state to state. The fees involved will vary from state to state, especially country to country. And so just do your due diligence. It's as simple as this. I'm going to walk you through how easy it is to get this thing set up. So as you can see, I simply went to Google, put in LLCs in Texas. I'm here in Houston, and immediately it gives me a list of options. I could use LegalZoom, I could use InkFile, Texas Registered Agents, just many different ways that I can personally hire out somebody and get the help I need to establish my LLC. But if I want to do it myself, all I would do is, I know in Houston you go to the Secretary of State, or in Texas in general. So I would click on this SOS stateoftexas.us, and it says select a business structure. I go here, it immediately takes me to the Texas Secretary of State's website. I know that if I look on the business services, it has all of the business forms, my filing options. Even here on the first page, selecting a business structure gives you an idea of the various types of structure that you can establish, and the pros and cons, more or less, of each business model or business structure. So I come to my business forms, and under here I then click on business and nonprofit forms. Here I have a whole list, so I can go scroll down. Certificate of formation for a limited partnership, certificate of formation for professional limited liability company, certificate of formation for a limited liability company. So I would be here. I download these files, I fill them out, I fax or mail them to the Secretary of State's office, and in a couple of weeks my LLC can be formed. But in Texas, I actually can do it all online. All I have to do is click on SOS Direct. See, it says online filing available. I go here, and you actually enter your site. So you actually can set up your account and do this whole process online, which makes it much faster. So it's a $300 filing fee for the state of Texas. It also requires me to pay that fee, fill out the application, and then wait on my documents. From there, I use that information, go to the IRS's website and apply for my EIN, which is typically same day, and I'm ready to roll. I personally, if you feel comfortable with it, then it's on you. I personally recommend, so that it's structured correctly, that you hire out professional help if you're not familiar with this process and how to form a business. And that's as simple as what I showed you before, by going back out and looking at all of the businesses that pop up immediately when you first Google how to form an LLC in your state. And it's just as simple as that. You do this, and you could be up and running in a few weeks with your LLC in place, very professional and polished image. You can then build out your website, get your professional email, because you now own that name, and it just makes you look so much better when you're doing business, and people trust brands more than they trust individuals. So keep that in mind, but get that LLC formed as quickly as you can for all of those reasons that I mentioned. I'll see you on the next lesson.